Is it safe to say that Fort George is one of the headlining breweries in the Pacific Northwest? I think so. I've had my fair share of 4-star beers from them. Super wonderful, amazing IPAs, Pilsners, hazies, and West Coast IPAs, big barrel-aged stouts, regular stouts. Yeah, they really run the gamut, and I don't know that I've had a bad beer from them. Separating bad from don't prefer, I don't think I've had a beer I don't prefer from them. And I've definitely not had a beer that had any sort of off flavor or was poorly constructed, in my opinion. Yeah, I think they are one of the headlining breweries, and they are of the size that they're pretty well distributed. So easy to get and good beer? Yeah, definitely. One time of year that West Coast IPA fans in particular look forward to here in the Northwest is three-way season, when Fort George releases their three-way IPA for the year. And this is, I think it's always a West Coast, but I may be wrong on that. This is a collaboration beer, three-way, as in there are 3 breweries, Fort George and 2 others, that are involved in the making of this beer. And this year's three-way, which I picked up at both Costco and at Fred Meyer, which keeps their cans cool, is a limited edition seasonal that is a collaboration between Shred Beer Company, Uprise Brewing Company, Fort George, and that's of course brewed and canned at Fort George. And looking at the can art, I got to explain to my kids who Alf was. That is a very pale beer. Also, grapefruit and pineapple, and like the most beautiful, like fresh ruby red, like Texas Star, right? Is that what they are? Texas Star? Ruby red grapefruit, the good, tasty, sweet ones. And that's without getting the glass anywhere near my nose. Once you do get in there, it's more of the same with perhaps a little bit of the greenery from the plants, like citrus leaf kind of notes. There isn't any pine needle or pine or fir tree to the aroma to this beer. Also, this color, this is a very, very pale IPA. I mean, India Pale Ale, so you expect paleness. It's just, this is particularly pale. Also, I never actually watched whatever TV show Alf was on, but I'm guessing they're going with an alien theme on this one, because the green head, and then there's a stylized Alf, and then I recognize that robot from another 80s TV show. Yeah, some sort of theme. Yeah, so the beer looks very interesting, especially how light colored it is, like super pale. I'm expecting that to indicate that there's going to be very little, or what malt there will be very clean malt. There'll be no toast, definitely no roast, but not even a toasty malty character. This is going to be all about the hops, I would imagine. I have not had anything by Shred or Uprise, so I don't know what their skill sets are. And it would be interesting to see if they play, like if they had a particular aspect of the beer that they worked on or were responsible for, or if it was just 3 breweries got in a room and said, hey, let's make a beer together, what do you want? And then they just came up with a recipe together, which I suppose makes more sense. But like, it feels like some breweries particularly excel in hop use. Some breweries are particularly experienced and skilled in malt application. Some are particularly good and skilled at unique yeasts. And so if I were forming a collaboration, I might be looking for, hey, you pay attention to bringing the, we're all going to discuss and see what our end goal is. I'm going to use my yeast expertise. He's going to use his malt expertise, and they're going to use their hop expertise, and together we'll work on this project together, kind of thing. I don't know if that's how it happens. That's just how it happens in my mind. Yeah, let's see how she tastes. Mm. Oh, that's nice. And the malts are surprisingly present, but present. So it is definitely to the tropical flavor, which is what you might expect with a hazy IPA, an East Coast IPA, or a Northeast IPA. Um, but it isn't. It's not hazy, so no Northeast, right? It is instead a tropically topical West Coast IPA. It's bitter. It's nicely dry, which makes it very refreshing. Yeah, the citrus leaf kind of notes going on here. That bitterness with the citrus characteristic to it, but still there's that note of kind of pineapple and maybe even some guava in there, but very background. Just kind of a note to the overall flavors, and the grapefruit, the beautiful ruby grapefruit. And then there is, I mean, it does kind of become this hoppy note, but even that doesn't hang around super long. I'm kind of surprised how short the hop finish on this beer is. Now I'm only, what, 2 swallows in? I can't keep count, especially while I'm talking. There is, the hop note, but it's like that finishes quickly, and you have this nice cracker, like white bread without sugar, maltiness that's quite pleasant. This beer is very nice. I like that it hits the tropical. It has that really nice green, verdant note, which I don't know that I've used verdant in a little while, but in regards to hops, in regards to IPAs, I like IPAs that remind me of green growing things. That, to me, is one of the primary things I really appreciate about West Coast IPAs, is that it is about the green growing things that grow greenly around me. That's why pine trees are really nice in your IPA, because I've got so many of them around here. I guess these are fir trees, and no, I am not always super good at telling the difference. I have pine trees on the front, and they have the long needles, and these have short needles, so maybe they're fir. And then there's the segmented needles, which are cedar, right? I think, whatever. I am not the arborist. I just live amongst all the arbors. So I like that it has this fruity, almost tropical kind of beginning, but it stops short of being sweet. It is the essence thereof, and then this very nice building bitterness that's just really beautiful and verdant and green and tasty and all the wonderful things of a West Coast IPA. And I do like that while you can taste the hops in the back of the mouth, the front of the mouth and the middle of the mouth finish is malt, which for a super pale beer is very pleasant and maybe not so much expected. And it's very nice to be found there. And it's definitely got a bit of warming on the back of the throat. This is, I believe, a 7%, 7.1. Yeah, so it's almost an imperial, as high as you can get without being an imperial. And it feels like an imperial or a triple, or a double, sorry. It feels like a double. Yeah, this is a good beer. I'm enjoying it. I give it 3 stars. This is the time of year to find them, and it does say keep cold and drink fresh, so you're not aging these at all. If you find them in the tap room, that's probably the best way to enjoy them, especially if it's a quality tap room that takes care of their beers well. I know Oli Tap Room had them last week. I don't know how quickly it went. A couple coworkers got there and were able to enjoy it. But yeah, it's a good beer, and I'm enjoying it. Anyways, this is me, Matthew. I have been drinking and enjoying the 3-way IPA by Fort George, Uprise, and Shred Brewing. was a collaboration. And I will catch y'all on the flip side.